If you care about social justice and the environment, you might be wondering, how can I incorporate these values in the way I invest my money, my retirement savings? And this is where sustainable investing comes in. In this video, I'm going to share 4 things. We're going to break down exactly what sustainable investing is. We're going to look closely at the performance of socially responsible investing. Will you make more money or will you actually make less money? Third, I'm going to share 3 popular socially responsible investing strategies. And lastly, we're going to go behind the scenes and discuss, is sustainable investing legit or is it all just a marketing scheme? What is sustainable investing? Let's say you do not like private prisons or gun violence. You think it's just not good for the community. And you support companies that give a fair wage to employees and are serious about lowering their carbon footprint. Sustainable investing is a way to reflect those types of values in the way you invest your money. It comes in different names. Sustainable investing, socially responsible investing, it's the same thing. ESG is another popular term, environmental, social, governance investing. Ethical investing, green investing, they're all the same concepts. Basically, the idea is you try to make money while supporting companies that do good. Sounds like a win-win, right? Let's look closely if it's a win-win by examining the performance of socially responsible investing. Let's look at socially responsible investing performance. Will you actually make more money or less money if you do SRI investing? Let's look at 3 high-profile studies conducted by recognized institutions. Morgan Stanley first. 2019, they released a study. What they did is they analyzed the return and risk performance of ESG funds versus normal funds from 2004 to 2018. And what they found out was there's no financial trade-off in the returns of sustainable funds compared to traditional funds. So looks like, according to this Morgan Stanley study, there is no trade-off in investing for the good. 2015, Oxford University and Arabesque Partners released a meta-study. What they did is they looked at more than 200 sources, academic publications, industry reports, newspaper articles, books. What this study showed was 88% of companies with robust sustainability practices demonstrated better operational performance, which translates to better cash flows. And usually the better cash flows of a company is, the higher the stock price is. So again, another plus for sustainable investing. More recently, 2020, the NYU Stern Center for Sustainable Business released another comprehensive ESG report. It's a meta-study of a meta-study, so they looked at 1,000 meta-studies on corporate financial performance and investment performance, published between 2015 and 2020. What this meta-study found is there is a positive correlation between ESG and corporate financial performance. Positive correlation. And 60% of ESG stock portfolios showed similar or better returns, performance compared to those using traditional approaches. 14% found negative results. So it looks like it is possible to invest in something that reflects your values and either you don't have to make a financial trade-off, or in some cases you actually make more money. Now that I've sparked your interest in ESG investing, let's look closely at the how. How exactly do you do sustainable investing? 3 popular sustainable investing strategies. Number 1, investing in green ETFs. I'm talking about solar ETFs, wind ETFs. Some of them have actually done pretty well over the past 2 years. Clean water ETFs, basically investing in funds that are good for the environment. Pretty straightforward. The main problem with these green ETFs is they're in a field where technology is rapidly evolving and competition is pretty fierce, such that there's no telling whether this solar or wind company is going to be operational 10 years down the road. The second popular one is investing in sustainable index funds. So these sustainable index funds will only include companies that meet certain environmental, social, or governance criteria. For example, if a company is doing a lot of water or air pollution or deforestation, they might get excluded in this index. If a company has good labor relations, that might be a plus. Now, the thing I like about the sustainability index funds, is it will contain more companies across various industries. For example, a clean energy ETF might only contain 80 stocks, while a sustainability index fund might contain 1,500 stocks. So a lot more, it's more diversified. Now, when you're looking for sustainability index funds, look for the word, you guessed it, sustainable, or ESG sometimes is a keyword to look for. So Fidelity, for example, has 2 sustainability stock index funds and 1 sustainability bond index fund. Vanguard has 2 ESG ETFs and 1 ESG mutual fund. Northern Trust has sustainability stock funds that you can purchase at any brokerage. When you look at the 401k, it's a little bit trickier. It usually will not contain sustainable index funds, but the keyword again is look for the word sustainable or ESG. Now, the nice thing about sustainability index funds is they are index funds, which means the fees are going to be lower. Lower the fees, you get to keep more of your money. If you want to learn more about index funds and why you might want to consider them, check out our video on Fidelity Index Funds for Beginners. The third popular sustainable investing strategy is investing in an actively managed, socially responsible funds. What that is, it's a fund, they hire a fund manager, they pick stocks that are socially responsible according to their criteria, and at the same time, they think these stocks are going to perform well, they're going to beat the market. So pretty straightforward, they pick green companies that they think are going to return good. It's an active fund, so expect to pay higher fees. If you're finding this video valuable, please do click on the subscribe button below. Now it looks like we're gaining momentum on ESG investing. It looks like performance is pretty decent. There's actually ways to implement it, but now let's look behind the scenes and discuss, is ESG investing legit, or is this all a marketing scheme? The key thing to discuss here is what defines good, right? So for example, Amazon is the 4th largest holding of a popular ESG ETF. In 2020, MSCI, the largest ESG index provider, upgraded Amazon's ESG rating. And Amazon claims that its emissions are only 1/7 of that of Walmart. So they sound like a pretty good ESG company. However, Amazon also generated 465 million pounds of plastic packaging waste in 2019, and a lot of it ends up polluting our rivers and oceans. So how do you reconcile that, right? It's tough. Bloomberg Businessweek actually did a detailed analysis on every ESG rating upgrade that MSCI did. Again, MSCI is the largest ESG index provider. Upgrades that happened in 2020 and 2021. What did Bloomberg find? MSCI upgraded McDonald's, but the funny thing is, McDonald's actually generates more greenhouse gas emissions than Portugal. So it produces more than 53 million tons of carbon dioxide per year, and McDonald's emissions actually increased by 7% in 4 years. And yet MSCI upgraded McDonald's during that time. What is going on? It looks like, if you read a fine print, MSCI determined that climate change does not pose a risk to McDonald's bottom line. So let's think about that for a second. MSCI upgraded McDonald's because the environment does not pose a risk to McDonald's, not because McDonald's is doing good to the environment. So it's kind of flipped. It's very strange. Also, JP Morgan got an upgrade in December 2020, even though it continues to underwrite more bonds for fossil fuel companies than any other bank in the world. Very strange indeed. So looks like we may need to approach sustainable investing, ESG, SRI investing with a grain of salt. So what do you think? Are you going to do sustainable investing in your investments? It's a tough decision. We're actually having this discussion ourselves at this nonprofit board that I volunteer. And let me know in the comments section below what you decide. I'll love to hear if you end up doing sustainable investing.